Hey there guys, what's up? It's time for another episode of Carson City. Now, the first episode I did, I told you that the main reason why I started doing YouTube and stuff like that was because I wanted to help people. And you know what? Making people laugh is a great way to help people. You know, I love doing that, but I know I've been thinking a little bit lately. I've actually wanted to do something that is helpful to people. I know that sounds kind of weird in retrospect, saying this, like, oh yeah, I'm helping people, but I want to be more helpful. But no, what I'm talking about is I actually wanted to do something on the channel that could benefit you guys in real life. I don't know, this is my thing. I want to do it. And so you know what? I'm starting a new series. This series is going to be called Listapalooza. Now what Listapalooza is basically I choose a topic on something to basically make a list on how to improve yourself in this subject. Now, a disclaimer is this is not going to be like the absolute truth. This is obviously from my perspective. This is my opinions, you know, but take them or leave them as you choose. Now, for today's list is going to be about the subject of happiness. Now, happiness is a very tricky subject to talk about, mainly because happiness is a lot like beauty. It's unto the eye of the beholder. What makes one person happy may not necessarily make another person happy. Now, how the heck am I actually going to tackle this list? Well, I've done a lot of research. I've done a lot of things. That's actually why I haven't made a video in a while, is because I've been researching this and stuff like that and actually been trying some of these methods that people have said work. So I will be giving you my top 5 ways that I have found personally that do help improve my mood vastly. In the description below, I will be giving you the links to these articles so you can actually do research of your own, because I wouldn't want you to just take my word for it. I'd want you to actually do research of your own and hopefully find ways that might work better for you that maybe didn't work as well for me. So without any further ado, here is my top 5 ways to improve your happiness in your life. Alright. So the one way I have found that is basically universally found on a lot of these lists is take time for yourself. Now, I've worded this in a way to basically encompass all things that involve yourself. The reason why I said it's universally listed on a lot of these lists, but not necessarily, oh, it's found on every single one of these lists, is because it is found on this list in one way or another. Now, when I say take time for yourself, I don't necessarily mean like, oh, have a spa day or something like that. No, what I'm talking about is do something that you personally love doing, or something that's by yourself where you can just enjoy the company of you. One thing I find that helps me that I started doing once I started reading a lot of these lists, I started taking walks in like a wooded area. There's like a park near my house that I just drive to, and I just walk around it a couple times. And you know what? It relieves a lot of stress. You're just out there. It's quiet. You just hear like the birds chirping and stuff like that. And it really takes your mind off of things. That's one way I've personally figured out how to have time for yourself. Your way may be, I don't know, try meditating. Try coloring book. Art therapy is a huge thing right now. Try playing a video game with yourself for an hour. It doesn't matter what it is, just take that time for yourself. The best metaphor I have found is basically it's like an oxygen mask on an airplane. They always tell you to put your oxygen mask on first and then help other people. The reason why is you can't help other people if you're basically struggling for air yourself. Life's a lot the same way. Alright, the second item on my list is find your love in everything that you do. Now, the second one can be applied in a lot of different scenarios. The scenario I'm going to use is work. Basically, nobody likes to work. You know, it's work. And they always tell you in school, it's like, oh, do what you love. That way it doesn't feel like work. A lot of people don't find what they love until like a very, very long time into their life. So, find what you love with the job you have right now. I know that's easier said than done, you know, because like sometimes jobs suck, sometimes you have crappy days, but hey, you know what? That's what taking time for yourself is for. But in the meantime, what you need to do is while you're at work, instead of thinking, ah, crap, I got work, you know, just think of something that you do enjoy at work. Maybe there's really cool people at your work, like, hey, you know what? I get to hang out with these people. Simple as that. Something that instead of putting a negative connotation on it, spin a positive one on it. You know? That way, it's not as bad. And yeah, it's still work, but you know what? It's that much better. Alright, number 3, which was my personal favorite to research, sleep. So this one I feel like doesn't need any explaining because sleep is awesome. Everyone loves sleep. I mean, everyone takes naps. You call me any time of the day and it's just like, hey bro, you wanna come over and hang out? No, taking a nap. And you know what? That's okay. Power naps are great. Power naps are great stress relievers and stuff like that, and they just put you in a better mood. But the best surefire way to actually improve your mood is just get a good night's sleep. And I'm not saying every night you have to get a good night's sleep. No, that's not necessarily the case, because I mean, we do live in a crazy world, and plus a lot of stuff happens at night, especially when you're around my age. But that being said, at least set apart 1 or 2 nights a week where you do get like a nice full 8 hours of sleep. And trust me, it will greatly improve your mood. The next day, you will just feel awesome the next day. And you're like, hey, you know what? I can take on the world. And it's something that's so simple, yet a lot of people struggle with. I'll admit, I struggle with it a lot. And the reason why is you need to kind of give yourself that time to unwind before you go to sleep. That means turning off the computers, turning off the TV and stuff like that. I know, this is sounding like a chore, isn't it? I know it's hard to do, but you know what? Do it. Just try it once and see for yourself. I know it worked for me, and I bet it will work for you. Alright, number 4 on the list is actually something that personally I've had a lot of problems with. So this was actually something that really interested me, and it actually helped me out a lot. Number 4 is don't sweat the little things. Now basically when I say don't sweat the little things, what I mean is basically there are big things in our life like moving, deaths in the family and stuff like that, just big changes and stuff like that. With those things, especially at that time, don't sweat the small stuff. Like, hey, you know what? I forgot to go grocery shopping today. Or I forgot something at the grocery store. It's okay, grocery store's gonna always be there. I mean, I'm pretty sure like Smith's or wherever your locally sourced produce comes from is always gonna be there. Unless there's a fire, then that's something to stress about. But then even then, there's like 3 billion grocery stores you can go to. Hell, you can even go to the gas station and get milk. Don't sweat it. Another thing a lot of people like stress out about is, hey, you know what? I feel like I don't have any time for anything. A lot of people complain about not having time, but the thing they fail to realize is there's always going to be time. If you stop and you actually think about it, you can just sit there and be like, look at all this time I have! It's literally all around you. Like, you always will have time. Simple as that. So don't sweat the little things. The last thing on my list, number 5, is the most important, which is why I saved it for last. Love yourself. That sounds like a crazy concept. To me, like a couple years ago, that would have been like a ridiculous concept. It's like, I gotta love myself? No, I have all these flaws and stuff like that. You know what? Look at those flaws and you own them. That's what you do. You love yourself. You love the crap out of yourself for those flaws. Those flaws are what make you, you. And you have to love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, how the heck are you going to even love anyone else? You can't even love a dog if you don't even love yourself, because you can't appreciate the fact that, hey, you know what? This dog loves me because I'm awesome. Simple as that. If you don't love yourself, it affects you in so many ways that you don't realize. By telling yourself that you're awesome, that's all you need to do. You gotta know that you're awesome. And you gotta think to yourself, hey, you know what? In all this world, of all the people in this world, there's like, I don't know, like 3 billion people. Don't quote me on that. But there's like 3 billion people in this world, and there's only one you. And you know what? That person's pretty cool. And you know what? I haven't even met you. But you know what? I already know you're cool. That you're watching this video. And not because you're watching this video, because you're a human being. And that to me is like the coolest thing ever. You know? So learn to love yourself. Loving yourself is the most important thing you could do for your happiness. Of anything. the thing is, a lot of people try and use other things to try and get that happiness to come because they're trying to find it. And you know what? The only way you can get that happiness is to love yourself. And you know what the great thing about loving yourself is? Once you love yourself, you have all this happiness. And then everything else that you were trying to use for your happiness becomes that much better because it says, hey, you know what? This is amplifying my happiness. Here, let me share my happiness with you. It's a simple concept that is so vastly hard to do. And I'm not gonna say like, oh yeah, just love yourself and it'll be okay. Because it's really hard, especially like in this day and age, because there's so many things out there that tell you not to love yourself because you're less than what society expects. You know what? Screw society. Don't listen to society, listen to yourself. Okay? Because yourself is pretty awesome. Alright, so that does it for me and my list-a-palooza of things that will help improve your happiness in life. If you like this video, please let me know in the comments below, or just leave a like on the video. I mean, it's there for a reason. Say you like the video. Also, I'm on the Twitters under Carson_City. If you find me on the Twitters, you can talk to me personally. I will always respond. I always love talking to you guys also, by the way. And also, you can send me stuff for some of my other series and for this series. If you want to see me talk about a topic of some sort, let me know on Twitter. Or if you want to send me a funny picture from Pics from the Net, send it to me on Twitter. That's like the perfect place to talk to me. I always check it, and it's always on my phone. And last but not least, I wanted to let you guys know that I'm going to be doing a reading your comments section soon. So, if you want me to read funny things on the YouTube comments or on Twitter and stuff like that, send them to me. Again, send stuff to me. Just send everything to me because you know what? I'm always giving it in with open arms. Come hither, bring me your stuff, and I will sell it in my Stuff and Things store. That is a throwback joke for all of you that don't know. That being said, thank you all so much for watching. I love you all, and I hope you all have yourself a fantastic day. Bye now.